Hey guys, welcome to episode 16 of Catchupcast. I'm Ethan. Before we get started, I just wanted to give a little update about what's coming for the podcast. Isaac's about to leave on his field semester to the desert, so we're not going to record any new episodes for a couple months. But in the meantime, we have several episodes lined up to release every couple of weeks during the interim. This coming episode is the first of two lost episodes that Isaac and I recorded back in March or April of last year. We've attempted to record episode 7 twice, but both times we were faced with some sort of recording issue. But I've now resurrected those episodes for you to enjoy. In 2-ish weeks, episode 17, which we called 16 when we recorded it, will drop, and after that, the second lost episode will drop. And after that, episode 19, which we call 17 in recording, will release. It occurs to me I'm just listing the episodes that are coming out, but I just want you to know, we have a plan. And after that, mind-bogglingly, we'll release our 20th episode, which is crazy that we've made that many episodes of this podcast. And that'll be something a little different from our usual format. But that's all to come. For now, I just want to thank you again for all your support of this podcast. It means a lot to me and Isaac to know that there's people listening to our silly ramblings. And now, dear listeners, relax and enjoy this blast to the past of Catchupcast. You're listening to Catchupcast, the podcast where, believe it or not, we do not discuss condiments. Hello everyone, welcome to Catchupcast, your favorite podcast. I'm Ethan.
I'm Isaac.
And this is episode 7, Isaac. Isn't that crazy?
Is it really?
Yeah, we've been doing this for 3 billion episodes. 7 episodes.
That's only 7 weeks. Well, really 6 weeks.
Yeah, but this is like month 3 of actually recording.
Yeah, right. Because we started halfway through. Well, sure. We'll go with that.
I mean, give or take. I'm counting the full months.
Right. I got you. Well, great. That's good for us.
We're pretty darn popular, I think.
Yeah, I think we had, 4 views on the last one?
So far.
Yeah, that's surprising. Surprising we don't have any sponsors by now.
I think you have to have at least 10 episodes before the sponsors will consider you.
Oh, okay. That's why as soon as we release our 10th episode, they'll just come rolling in.
Right, then we're just going to be flooded with all the sponsors.
Yeah. They're just waiting.
If there won't be a podcast, it'll just be all the sponsors and just their jingles for the whole episode.
You're right. We won't have anything else to talk about. It'll just be sponsor spots.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what more could you want out of a podcast?
That's right. Besides a money-making machine. And our listeners would still tune in.
I would.
Just to hear the two of us talk about things that are earning us money to talk about.
Two awesome guys who wouldn't want to listen.
It's a good point. Would make it really entertaining.
So that's the future of Catchupcast, listeners. It's just nothing but sponsors. And money for us good folks. Anyway, Isaac, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm not kind of out of it. I watched movies all weekend to get ready for the Oscars.
Yeah.
So I haven't.
A big day.
It was a big night. The film group at my school had like a watch party, which was a lot of fun.
Wow, that's cool.
So I'm going to talk about them a little later with my movie recommendation.
Okay, so we want to save that segment?
Because I have thoughts, but the thoughts go along with my movie recommendation.
Okay. I'll put away the tuxedo and the bow tie and.
Yeah. I've got my cummerbund just waiting for the end.
Okay. I'll throw that on when we talk.
Yeah.
Hollywood big night.
So there's something I wanted to talk to you about.
Okay.
How did this speed dating thing go?
Good question. Well, they confiscated the crossbow at the door. No, that's not true. I didn't bring a crossbow at all. I know, right? That was the plan. How did it go? I'm trying to remember. Oh, it went fine. Yeah. I guess that's a sign that anything really come of it, because I couldn't really remember. But, yeah, it was fun, because I knew pretty much everybody that was there. I mean, I hadn't, had a conversation with everybody, but I knew I'd met everybody in the room at least once before that night, which is kind of weird, but when you live in such a small community,
that's true. Up in your tree.
Yeah, that's sort of what happens. So it was less about dating. I feel like speed dating, the dating word was a bit it was more like speed conversation having than I think there was very few people in it that were there for there for the dating part. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. What was the process like? How did it work?
There was rows of tables of like thin, narrow
Okay.
tables in like a horseshoe shape in the room, and then with a chair on either side, and you would sit down, and somebody would sit down across from you. You would talk for 3 minutes, and then you'd both see. Here's the thing: you'd both move to the left, which means that you skipped every other person, which could be good, could be bad, but also there's not enough time to talk to really everybody. So it's just like, all right, easy thing to just move one to the left, and yeah.
And so did you mention Catchupcast like I suggested?
I did not talk about the fabulous podcast that I have, unfortunately.
There could have been potential sponsors there, Isaac.
Oh, at the speed dating night?
Yeah.
Right. People are like, oh, you have great. I'm looking for something to sponsor.
Here, just take my money.
Just say this on your podcast, and I'll give you money. That's true. I didn't think about that. But anyways, the conversations were great. It was a good time to talk to people that I don't normally get to talk to during my day.
That's awesome.
That I've made their acquaintance, but never really had a full conversation with them. So it was good to have that, good to talk. And so the way it worked is it was all genders, all preferences, everybody, all of that. And so it didn't really matter who, like, if you weren't interested, just generally, if that category wasn't quite your taste, you can still have a conversation with them. And
Right.
I sat across from my buddy once, my good friend Joe, and we had a great conversation about things, not about the podcast, but yeah, and it was great.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was
like it's a nice, lighthearted way to spend an evening.
Yes, that's true. I feel like I've been branching out more recently, doing more adventurous
And that's amazing.
social things.
That's such an important thing to do, especially in college.
Yes.
Like, it's so easy to just sit in your room all the time and, record podcasts.
That's right. Being social with only people that could never possibly actually be physically in your world.
Right. So it's important to have friendships that are maintained by, like, physical bonds.
Yeah.
Well, not, but, like...
By the bonds
rather than
between
bonds
atoms.
of...
By hydrogen and oxygen
yes.
bonds.
Versus a bond that's an obligation to a podcast, and that's the only reason you're friends with that person.
Right, I mean, really, we're just doing it for our sponsors at this point.
At this
I think
point,
we both know
our
that
friendship
we
is...
hate each other to death.
Right, yeah.
And
you're the worst person ever.
But really, we find no other way to make good money except the sponsors that continue to support this show.
Right.
Yeah.
And you haven't heard any of them yet, listeners, because they're waiting for the big anniversary.
Right.
Episode
it's going to be, like we said earlier, it's going to be the 10th episode. We're going to make all this money. It's going to be great.
Mm-hmm. In fact, the opening of the episode is just going to be us, like, making it rain. You'll just hear paper shuffling.
That's right. There'll be so much stacks of paper, you won't even be able to hear the microphone.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. I feel like I had more to say about that, but I don't remember.
I don't know. You're the one who always has the big list, though.
Yeah, to be honest, I kind of neglected the list this week. I thought I'd go in rather fresh.
That's valid. I got some stuff we could talk
about. All right, you go next.
This one I've had sitting on my desk for a couple weeks now. Just we haven't had time to get to it.
Okay.
For one of my New Year's resolutions was to drink a lot less soda.
All right.
Because I drink a lot of soda. I like the fizziness. Coke has a nice like caffeine boost to it. But I thought there's so much sugar in soda. If I could cut that out, that'd be a really healthy thing to do.
Next. Yeah, good point.
So I've started drinking water a lot more than I did. Like, if I go to get lunch, actually I'm eating lunch right now, so I apologize for any chewing sounds on the recording. But I'll get a bottle of water rather than like a Sprite or a Coke or something.
Very
and I just
good.
wanted to ask, like, what do you like to drink? Like, if you were given the option, what would you
probably water?
What would you drink?
I feel like I'm dehydrated most of the time.
Same. It's so easy to. I feel like at home because I can just like walk to the sink or the fridge and just sort of like, boom, water. Whereas in college, I have to like leave my room if I want to go get water.
Yeah, I think the thing about the water, especially here where I live, is it's really hard. Like, there's a lot of chlorine and like, what else? Calcium and like, it's not, or it's just like not.
Yeah.
It's municipal water that's very very not tasty, I should say. It's not like spring water. which some people do go to springs and get water, but yeah. So
Excuse me.
it's okay, but yeah, I usually keep a few bottles in my room just filled up with water. That way, it's here when I need it. Usually, I
smart.
have my water. What do you call it? Oh, an electric kettle. That's what that's called. I would have that.
Yeah, I've got one
Yeah,
too.
in my room,
Get
sort of
that
filled
full.
up, ready to make some tea or some hot cocoa.
Do you have a favorite kind of tea?
Not really. I think it depends on the mood.
I would agree. I've gotten really into chamomile tea lately.
For the quiet moments.
Just like, if I'm reading a book or something, or I'm, stressed, I'll just make a cup of that.
Some cozy
It's
chamomile,
real
as
soothing.
they say.
Cozy chamomile, absolutely.
For the quiet
Oh,
moments.
now I kind of want tea. Welcome to Teacast.
Where we throw tea into the Boston Harbor.
That's right.
I used to think that the Tea Party,
We're American
like the political
revolutionaries.
party called the Tea Party, was about that, the throwing of tea into the Boston Harbor.
It's a little disappointing that they're not.
I know, or like just stand around and sip tea, or like, yeah, it's kind of unfortunate.
No, they actually have political views.
Yeah.
I'm not going to state my opinion of them because this is not a political podcast.
I think my favorite
but
historical political party name is called the Know Nothing Party.
the Know Nothings were super racist.
Right, I hate their agenda. Like, I would not want to associate them at all whatsoever. But I think their name is they win it in the name category.
They do. They also went by, I think, like the American Party or something like that.
Oh, that's boring.
So like, well, there's a funny joke in there.
The Know Nothing American Party.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's true. We do stout how much we know nothing.
But what do you expect from racists? Catchupcast tip, by the way, you listeners, don't be racist.
Oh, the next thing to talk about is I went to a Contra dance last night. Was it last night?
You know what's really funny, actually? Isaac?
Yeah.
That was one of the topics I wanted to talk about, too.
Well, there we go. See, we're so good at this. We know.
That's how you know it's friendship, folks.
I think listeners might think that we collaborated beforehand and we're like, okay, here's what we want to talk about, but like bring it up in like not that
right.
cohesive of a way. But really, we just answered the phone call and then hit the record button.
Exactly. Basically, listeners, Isaac and I, like throughout the week, we'll just write down some stuff we want to talk about. There's no collaboration.
There's no colluding going on in
Yeah,
the background. We're like,
there's no collusion.
Yeah.
Believe me. I have a thing about collusion to say in a little bit, but I want to talk about Contra dancing.
Okay, what about it?
Well, just what's it like? How does it work at your college? Because
It
it's like a
wasn't
big
at
event,
my
right?
college. It was at a community place. It's called the Grange.
Oh, so you went?
What?
Oh, I have. Yeah, you've mentioned the Grange before, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, how does Contra dancing work for the uninitiated? And you can remind me because I watched a video the other day, but
Okay, so it
was
is
not paying attention that much.
It's a communal dance done in long lines of people and partners, and you switch. Well, okay, to a set of music and a caller who is telling people what moves they should be doing in this specific order for different dances, and it changes every dance. So we'll break it down. There's a room full of people, right? You walk in, fresh-faced, maybe a little confused from the driving, and then you get there and there's like a room just filled with people, a big dance hall, empty room, hardwood floor, filled with people. Take off your shoes, maybe take off your socks, maybe put on your dancing skirt, even if you're a guy. And then you ask somebody.
I was gonna say, what is like the dress code for this?
Really, anything goes. I mean, not anything, but like men wearing kilts and skirts is like totally normal. It's not formal in any sense of the word. Some people will dress up.
But you don't wear
look
shoes?
a little nicer because they're going out in public. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Huh. Anyway, so you're there, you're dancing.
And yeah, ask
suit,
somebody
or whatever.
to be your partner for the next song. And the first one, I usually like to go with a friend and have that friend be the first one, and then that way you can sort of warm up and get into the idea of it without the pressure of talking to somebody that you don't know. But eventually you should do that. Then the call, you get into lines depending on how big the room is full of people. And the caller will explain things that you do with your body in the order of the dance. So that could be like swing with your partner, which is like the main form of the Contra dancing, where you're like, you're holding one pair of hands out far, and then usually it's your left hand, and then, well, I would think always. But anyways, if you're you can either be you can either be the lead or the follow. Traditionally, the lead is the boys and the follow is the ladies, but that's also not always true. Many
Right, here on Catchupcast, we say screw gender norms and just do what you want.
Right. So some would call that the gent and the lady, I guess. But really, it's just lead and follow, and anybody can do anything that they would like. Really, there's no even at the event. There's like, you know, like I said, people are playing all sorts of rules here. So anyways, so yeah, what is this? The lead will have their left hand out. The follow will have their right hand out, and they'll meet somewhere in space. The lead will have their right hand underneath the follow's left shoulder, and the follow will have their left hand above the lead's other hand. That's really confusing. But anyways, you do that, and then you swing around in a circle. That's the swing portion of it. And then you go into a line and you do something. You either like spin around in a circle with people, or you like swing in, swing out, or you like, I don't know, hold hands and like move in a big line, or you like, I don't know. But it's all done to the music, and it's all very somewhat predictable. Yeah, it's great. You see all kinds of people. I mean, there's people from like 8 years old to 80 years old there. It was a wide crowd. Yeah.
I should do that.
I think you would really enjoy it. You're like theater and like
I love
performance
dancing.
and like sort of social self. I think would really like it.
Well, if they ever do it here in good old Ohio, I will have to.
There probably is a place you could find it going on. It's conventionally a northeastern thing.
Well, I'm not in the Northeast. I'm in the Midwest.
Well, yeah. But yes. Yes, it was a good time. It was fun to talk to people that I've never seen before and sort of have little interactions and conversations and ask people to dance, which is really sort of nerve-wracking and nervous, but like also it's like kind of fun and there's really no pressure. So yeah, it was a good time.
How did you get into Contra dancing?
I didn't. I'm not really in it. I would say you just like show up and do it. I've done it twice.
How did you show up the first time? Really? You've only done it twice in your life?
Yep.
Oh, from the way you talk about it, it sounds like you've done it a bunch.
No. It was terrifying.
But fun?
Yeah.
Contra dancing. I'm gonna after we finish recording, I'm gonna look for places around me where I can go and
if not, you should
do-si-do and all that good stuff. Right here on campus?
Yeah, just do it.
You know what? Yeah.
Just says if it's right or not.
It's all about the fun.
That's right.
Okay, you've inspired me.
Great.
I'm gonna do it.
But an embarrassing thing did happen at Contra dancing. I don't know if I should talk about it or not.
I mean, you've brought it up.
I did, but that doesn't guarantee I should talk about it.
That's true.
So I don't know if our listeners know, but I am turning a certain age on to tomorrow, and I was feeling particularly old at the Contra dance when a certain thing happened. So I was how does it go? Oh, I was asking this person to dance if they would like to dance. How do I put this? An attractive young person, young female, and I was like, wow, this will be fun. Let me ask this person if they would like to dance, and I did, and it was great. And we started talking like before the dancing actually started, and the caller was explaining things. Started talking about like, oh, where are you from? Like, is this your first time dancing? And like all this, and I was like, this is my second time. I go to school here, not too far away. Where do you go to school? And she was like, well, I go to school at this place. See, I'm not using any names or places, but you'll get the point. And I was like, oh, that's great. And she asked me what I study, and I said outdoor education. And I asked her what she studied, and she said she's in high school. And I was like, oh.
Oh.
Yeah, and then we continued to dance, and it was a fun time. But it just sort of surprised me.
Yeah, everyone looks kind of the same age now.
Because the name
Like,
of
in that-
her high school sounded like a college to me. And I was like, oh.
That's fair.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Well, I don't think you're going to get in any legal trouble for
I
that.
hope not.
Unless, the feds who are listening to Catchupcast hear you, and apparently there's nothing better to do.
Well, I mean, there's nothing
The
to, like,
FBI.
prosecute. Like, nothing happened. Like, what's the, like, whatever. I just thought it was an awkward time.
No, excuse me, that is awkward. I could see myself doing the same thing.
Well, besides that, anything awkward happened to you recently?
I mean, yeah, but I don't want to talk about it on the podcast, because...
See, me and Ethan have a deep, dark podcast, which we do after the show, where we actually talk about the things we want to talk about. He doesn't know it yet, but I've been hitting the record button.
Oh, no.
And I've been posting them on Craigslist, actually, of all the places, for people to buy at their leisure.
How much money have you made on this?
Actually,
this
more
dark
than
podcast?
any sponsor we've gotten so far at this one.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I should really talk about the juicy stuff.
It's
then.
it's a profitable business.
Well, here, I'll give them something juicy right now. If you take an apple and you squish it, juice comes out.
It's called apple cider. I had some this morning at breakfast.
I love apple cider.
It's great.
Do you like it cold or hot better?
It depends on the evening, or the day. Depends on the day. If it's a cold one and I'm outside and, like, maybe hanging out, yeah, I'd want some hot apple cider. But if I'm just, like, in the morning, like, with some pancakes and some eggs, like, cold is great. It's fine. No need to heat things up yet.
I'm trying to think of something that's awkward that's happened so I can actually give the audience something to listen to. Really, other than the ongoing awkwardness that I've discussed to you on the Dark podcast?
I see. The dark one, as we call it.
Not much. The dark one, yes. Is that the name of the podcast?
Yeah, that's the name of our dark
one.
web podcast. The dark one.
Is it the same guy buying it on Craigslist, or is it, like, different people?
It's mostly your enemies. I gotta be honest.
Oh, no.
Got a lot of enemies.
All of my enemies?
Got a lot of people trying to drain me of my energy. Trying to keep these dark web podcasts away from my enemies. Thank you.
Is that a song?
Yeah, it's a song
Sort
by
of.
Drake, actually. Actually, I probably can't
yes.
say that. He's tight on his copyright. He'll come and get me.
Not if he likes Catchupcast enough.
That's true. If Drake, if you're listening to this, give us a thumbs up. Have you seen his? Okay, this is a side note that I'm sure you haven't. But have you seen his most recent music video where he just hands out stacks of cash to people who need money in their life?
No, but where was he when I was taking out loans?
Where's it gonna be when I finish college? Good point. Good point.
So I'm just saying. But no, I did not see
But you went to impoverished areas. It might have been Detroit, or it might have been.
Detroit does need money. That's true.
Might have been Chicago. It was a major city. It might have even been in Canada. Because fun fact, Drake's from Canada. But anyways, he.
Oh, Canada.
I had a good conversation with some
native
Canadian
Drake.
Nordic, Canadian ski orienteers today. It was great.
Were they students or were they just Canadians?
They were
who came down to
competing
Vermont?
in the World Masters Ski Orienteering Championship, which I actually helped at. That's what I did earlier today. I shouldn't say that in such a roundabout way, but
That's really cool. You're so nonchalant about that. That sounds dope, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, so this
I hate the
morning
word
I
dope.
helped, I was a medical personnel. It was actually just a practice day. Nobody was actually racing today, but I sort of stood on the sidelines of the race area, and if anybody got hurt, they would come to me. And yeah.
So you were Dr. Isaac.
Yes, you could call me doctor if you would like. I have a PhD from the internet.
What's it in?
That's Mr. Doctor Professor Patrick to you.
Oh, yes, of course. Lord Mr. Doctor
Lord
Professor.
Mr. Doctor Professor. Well, it's in it's an online ministry, which means I can marry people. I can do the justice of the peace type deal.
You had any weddings yet?
We don't need to talk about this.
I always wonder, are those like online ministry things? Are those actually valid?
I don't know. I don't know how that works. I've never filled out a marriage license before.
Because I remember, do you remember at graduation? A certain classmate of ours got ordained and got them to say Reverend before his name when they called him.
Yeah, that's true. That did happen. That was something that happened back in high school. I agree. But yeah, that's funny.
Because I've always wanted, like, because it's so easy to get one of those.
It's really easy to get one of those.
You don't have to go to seminary. You don't have to, study any of it. You just have to sort of click stuff.
Yeah.
And if that's valid, like, what does that mean for actual ministry?
Well, I think, yeah, that's a good point. But anyways, back to my day earlier today.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so it was fun. Nobody got hurt, and it was a good time to just hang out. And there was somebody with me, another person from my school who has medical training, was accompanied me to do this thing. And yeah, so we just stood around. We talked to some of the people that weren't. It was just a practice day, so they weren't like going really fast. And but so we had a nice little conversation with some of them, and yeah, nobody got hurt, so it was a good time.
It's always good when no one gets hurt. That's one of my favorite ways to go about doing anything, really.
It depends on the thing.
That's sketchy.
But yeah. So I don't know if you're familiar with ski orienteering, but it combines the two sports.
Is it like orienteering, but on
Yeah,
skis?
did we talk about this last podcast?
No, but I know, I know what skiing and orienteering.
Okay, I
are.
just feel like
That's
I've
how
explained
they
this to you before. Yeah.
You have it on the podcast.
Not on the
so.
okay, not on. We have to actually redo every conversation we've had on the podcast. That way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That way we know we've either said it on the podcast or not.
Looking forward to that. Every single conversation we've had over the past 8-9 years.
Well, it's the combination of skiing and orienteering, and you have this little chest mount where the map will go, and it has a swivel on it, so you can rotate the map to align with where you are. And there's usually a little compass on there too. And you go past these checkpoints, and it's really cool. I was talking to these people who, they for a lot of these high-profile races, they'll have electronic checkpoint markers. So there's like a little thing that you wear on your index finger. It looks like a thumb drive, but it's not. And when you ski close enough to a checkpoint, you like stick your hand out and like touch it, and just by the act of touching it, like you don't have to like plug anything in or like it's wireless. It counts you as you got that checkpoint.
Technology is so crazy.
Isn't that really cool?
That's so cool.
Yeah. They're called control points in the orienteering world.
And so do you win by doing it the fastest?
Yep, usually.
What are the types of speeds people get on these courses? Like,
it depends. There's different lengths, or there's different like scales, because there's no like set length. Like you can go wherever you want. There's trails and there's no trails, and there's like semi like social trails. Like you get to choose. It's a choose your own adventure here, but usually like on the trail is going to be faster travel than off trail. But off trail might be a more direct route, so it might be worth it. There might be other things involved, like a hill, or like it's a rather complicated thing. So it depends. Like there'll be a smaller scale race and then a larger scale race that might take different times to do.
Okay. And this is cross country
Yep.
skiing, I assume?
Yeah, this is
Okay.
freestyle, so you can either do skate or classic. And
That sounds neat. That sounds just like fun.
get this. There's things I can't talk to you about. Because
What?
there's things I can't talk to you about the race. Because, well, no, this will probably come out after. But either way.
Yeah, this is 2 weeks away.
This will probably come out after the races are done. But earlier in the spring, I don't remember if I said it on the podcast, but I helped make some of the trails that are featured in the World Cup ski orienteering that are being hosted near where I live. So, where I go to school. Anyways, they are hosted at the same event that I helped with today, which means that I have information that the racers don't know yet. See, the thing about ski orienteering is you get the map only 15 seconds before the race actually starts. So you have to study the map in those 15 seconds and decide which way you're going to go and how, like, start figuring out your route as you're starting to ski. So any information that you get before those 15 seconds is like cheating.
What? So you hold the fate of these people.
I know a few things
In
that
your
they
hand.
that they don't. Is what I'm saying.
That's wow.
Isn't that cool?
That's really
I've
cool.
never had confidentiality before.
Isaac, you talk about the statute of limitations every episode.
That's true, but it's not like. Yeah, I guess that's right. But this is like high stakes. Like this is like World Cup ski orienteering here. There's people from Russia, from Germany, from Italy, from Poland, from all of Norway, Sweden, all of those European and Eastern European countries. I saw them all skiing today. The World Cup racers also had a practice. It was great. It was really cool to see all those different people.
That I wish there was more of that around here. That sounds just like really fun and happy is the wrong word, but it sounds happy.
Yeah, it was a fun thing.
I can't believe I've never heard of ski orienteering before.
I mean, you can combine pretty much any two sports and do that, but yeah.
You think you can combine any two sports?
Well, no, like they have to
Like-
have like coexisting rules.
I was gonna say, baseball, football might not work too well.
No, probably not. Do you remember in middle school gym when we played mat ball?
Oh my god,
It
mat
was like
ball,
my favorite
yes.
day in gym class.
Mat ball was fun. Listeners, for those of you who don't know, mat ball is basically kickball, except you could have more than one person on the bases, right? That's the main difference.
Yeah, pretty much, from what I remember.
And so people would just like go chill out on a base for 10 minutes until they got yelled at by the gym teacher to move.
Yeah, or there was like kids like me that would just like keep round because you can round the base. Oh, that's the other difference. Is you can round the bases
Oh,
as
yeah,
many
you can
times
keep
as you
going.
want.
And I think to get a point, you have to go around.
You have to go around
anyway.
twice anyways, which is different from baseball. And every time that you go around after twice is another point. So you could just like keep circling the bases and gain all these points, and then the last time that you touch home, like that's how many points you get. But it's like risky. If you get out, you lose all of those points. So you could be like
Right.
stacking up these points and like, all right, I'm gonna go for home this round, and you go for home and you get out, boom, all that time just wasted.
Gym class was wild back in the day.
Yeah.
Do you remember Crossfire?
Yes, that was such a good game.
We played Crossfire, I think, my senior year. Our senior year. I don't know why I just
Senior of
identified
high
myself
school?
at. Yeah, I think just like for a
Of
day.
nostalgia.
Yeah, and it was not as fun.
Really?
Like people took it too seriously. The whole point was like people were like having strategies. The whole point was just like to sit on your pin like an egg
That's
and
true.
accumulate all the balls, so no one could throw anything at you, and then just go wild. Crossfire listeners, basically you have to knock down people. Each person has a pin, and they have to guard the pin like a bowling pin. And people are trying to throw like dodgeballs at it to knock it down.
Yeah. But did you play with
High
the rule that
quality
you had to
soccer.
set it up on the paint lines of the like
I've
basketball
played
court
both
in the gym?
versions. I think we didn't play by that rule in high school.
Okay, my gym teacher, who will remain unnamed because he is in jail probably right now.
Oh,
you
okay.
you didn't know about that?
I'd heard rumors. I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, I guess I've only heard rumors too. I just assumed that they were prosecuted. You know?
Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on from this
Yeah.
tiny rut.
But no, it was a great game. Not the man, but the game was.
Oh, I kind of miss gym class. Is that weird?
What if college had gym class? Huh.
I wouldn't enjoy that. I don't like mandatory gym class.
Oh. But you
most states don't require that you go to 4 years of gym in high school.
Yeah, I know. New York is that way.
New York's just weird.
Yeah. But I kind of liked it just for like the outdoor education side of things, and like gym class was the closest you got to that in high school, or at least in our high school.
That's true. And we had the woods behind our high school. We used to go on hikes sometimes, I remember. And those were always really nice.
Yeah. Yeah. High school gym class. What a time.
So we're at 37 minutes right now. Should we move on to the Oscars discussion?
All right, now roll that
This is
Oscar theme music.
All right. The Oscars. I don't know.
All right, let me go put on the
Yep, I
put on
got
the
my
tuxedo,
bow tie
and
ready.
the top hat, and the
Alright, jacket on. Oh, you got a top
well,
hat?
yeah, of course.
Oh man, I just brought my monocle. I didn't think about the top
Oh,
hat.
okay. And our nice monk strap shoes.
Oh, absolutely. Freshly shined.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it fancy time. So what about them? I don't know anything.
So the movie that won Best Picture is The Shape of Water, which you might have heard of. It's a Guillermo del Toro
What
film
shape does
about a woman.
water takes whatever shape it wants to, whatever shape the vessel
This is
is that
true.
it's in.
I don't quite understand the title, but this is the movie where a woman falls in love with a fish creature. Have you heard of it?
Yes.
It won Best Picture. It was I watched it Saturday night. It should not have won Best Picture. In my opinion, it was good, but it was really predictable and kind of just sort of checking off all the boxes of the genre, of a romance film, and also of a Cold War film. So it was good, but I don't know what they were thinking with it, giving it Best Picture. What should have won, and this is my movie recommendation of the week, is a movie called Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Oh,
Have you heard
I
of
have
that?
not seen that one.
So the premise of the film, it opens, this woman, her daughter several months ago was raped and murdered by these people, and the police never found who did it. And so she buys 3 billboards outside of her town, Ebbing, Missouri, hence the title, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, and basically calls out the police department for not finding the guy. And it's the story about grief and about rage and coming to terms with those feelings, and it's also about kindness, and it's super unpredictable, and it's so well written, and you believe all these characters, and the female lead, Frances McDermott, won Best Lead Actress last night. One of the other characters, Sam Rockwell, he won Best Supporting Actor last night. So it was really good, and it should have won Best Picture. This is the first year I've watched all of the Best Picture nominees. I watched half of them this past weekend because productivity is good.
Who's the leading lady in that one? The 3 billboards.
Frances McDermott.
Who?
Frances McDermott.
Okay, hang on.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's what I thought. All right.
What?
She plays the mother of Susie Bishop in Moonrise Kingdom.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I forgot what her name is in the movie, and she's having
a phenomenal
having an
actress.
affair with the policeman. Oh, that movie.
who is, of course, Bruce Willis.
Willis.
I've met his stunt double.
Hmm?
I've met Bruce Willis' stunt double.
You did?
Yeah.
When was this? Why haven't we talked
He was
about
filming
this?
a movie here last fall. I feel like we've talked about
On
this.
the podcast?
Maybe not on the podcast. Should I talk about it on the podcast briefly?
Sure.
I guess I have to. I just address it. In the fall of 2016, a movie was shot in the town where I go to school, starring Bruce Willis and Hayden Christensen. And Bruce Willis filmed his scenes in like a day or two. He was out pretty quick. But his stunt double stuck around to do like pickups and whatnot. So I was walking to get frozen custard. They're very particular. One day. And I passed one of the churches, and there was this big film set in the parking lot, and I was like, huh. And then I was like, that guy looks like Bruce Willis. That guy looks like Hayden Christensen. Oh, that is Hayden Christensen. That's not Bruce Willis, but I bet it's a stunt double, so I went and introduced myself.
Wow.
If you tell people you're a film student, they get excited.
Isn't it weird how people will pay people who look like them to do dangerous things that they don't want to do?
Unless you're Harrison Ford and 65.
Yeah, and then you just crash planes on your free time.
What a guy. But yeah, that is weird. I get it, like, safety. You want the main star to be as safe as possible. But also, like, hey, I'm more important than you. Can you go risk your life, please? Thank you.
Just because you look like me. It's weird.
It's kind of messed up when you think about it.
Yeah, kind of.
Hollywood's messed up in general, though.
Yes.
But
yes, it is.
But anyway, roundabout 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri. Should have won Best Picture. Incredible, moving, haunting film. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. I'd say it's required.
What do you think of Baby Boss?
I'm insulted you asked me that. I think you mean Oscar nominated.
Oscar nominated Baby Boss. Give me the hot take.
It did not win. It's not the Emoji Movie, thankfully. That's my hot take.
Wow.
But that's all I had to say.
Okay. Well, I think that about wraps up our
that's
Oscar.
the end of the podcast, I think.
Yeah. Our Oscar-themed podcast
so-
for this week, where we talked about high school gym class and ski orienteering and contra dancing and speed dating and
And the Oscars.
hot versus cold apple cider.
Thanks for listening, listeners. We'll see you next week for episode 8. We're getting close to episode 10 sponsor class.
That's right. That's when all the sponsors roll in.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.